Hey everybody, welcome back to Mark and the Shark episode 8. Mark here.
The Shark as well. How you doing today, Mark?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm ready to talk some wrestling. Today, I have not watched NXT yet, so we're only going to be talking about Raw, and then we're going to talk about a little bit of Wrestlepalooza and a little bit of Worlds Collide.
Sounds good to me.
So, Raw comes on, and it starts off with LA Knight in the ring with Jimmy and Jay Uso.
Starts out with the Usos out there. Then LA Knight comes out. Seems to be some issues going on between them. Then, of course, who else would, show up?
Both of the bronze.
I am kind of curious as to see where this is going. They're putting Jimmy and Jay back together, getting them. You still have the situation as well between LA Knight, his resolution that he has with Jay Uso, and then of course you have the both the bronze, and of course without Paul Heyman, it's quite an interesting mix to see what's going on here. LA Knight has his issues, but with him not winning the title. He wanted to win it. I don't blame him. So he has issues with both of them. So I think it's a perfect setup, for what they're going to be doing.
Yes, as far as that goes, that's kind of what threw me off is the friction between Jay Uso and LA Knight. I did how LA Knight was talking to um, Jimmy and saying, if you rewind the clock back far enough, you're the reason why I didn't get the championship from the OTC Roman Reigns. So that was an interesting element.
I like that it was a nice little tie together. That's what I like is that you can bring up that history. It's like that's what I like about how they can do that is that there's that history there so they can go ahead and pull that up. That's really cool. So it's like, it builds that I don't know to trust these guys. They can go many different ways. That's what I like about this.
Yes, and then our next segment we got El Grande Americano versus AJ Styles. How'd you like that match overall?
I thought it was a pretty good match. Of course you have interference. It's some of the things I'm getting tired of. It's like, can we please get clean matches? I really would have liked to have seen a clean match, to be perfectly honest. But of course, it's to continue the story. Of course, the thing, the big moment, AJ, you know, when the cameras weren't rolling, what was said. But as in terms of what they're doing with him, still going after AJ, the whole thing situation, or not AJ, but going after Dominic. So they're still going after that, then bringing this in. I think it's kind of interesting. We'll see what's going to go on here. Are they, trying to? It's also another tactic. Are they kind of getting away from AJ and Dominic at this point? We'll see what's going to go on here.
Yeah, I'm not really quite sure about where that's going. I think it's because they're going to be leading up to what we'll be talking about next. Raquel Rodriguez ended up defeating Lyra Valkyria, the boring bird lady for me. I'm not really too awesome on seeing her matches, but I will say Raquel actually did a good enough match that I actually watched this match.
Raquel actually carried her. Let's be honest. Come on, let's call it for what it. I'm not. Again, I'm really just personally, again, probably a nice woman. I'm just not impressed. She doesn't do anything for me myself. I mean, it's just even with this whole thing that they're trying to do with Bailey as well. I mean, it's I don't know. Just personally, it is what it is. I guess with the match.
Yeah, I'm really digging Raquel Rodriguez lately. She's
She's pretty
playing a lot more
impressive in there.
strong.
She's really strong. She's a big woman. That's what I like about her. I can't wait to see what they do with her.
And then AJ Lee and CM Punk challenge Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins to a match. I'll let you go ahead and lead off on that one because this is actually where I fell asleep before Becky even came out.
It was like, of course she got the big pop. Some of the stuff she was going through, she was definitely getting the fans and doing the comparison. Um, I'm really happy, believe it or not, to see AJ Lee back. I think it's really cool that there is legitimate beef between, her husband, AJ Lee's husband, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins, and to bring AJ Lee in. This is perfect timing. I really thought the promo was good. Then you have Becky Lynch coming on out, and then I love you have AJ Lee in there in the ring wearing the belt, and then of course you have Seth Rollins coming on out and getting the crowd going, and then of course she's just like the way she pitched it is just like either Becky can come in here and get the belt, or we can have a mixed tag match, and then you know that way she could get the belt back. It was really cool. I liked it. I thought I thought they did a great job. I thought everybody involved did a really good job in this one. I really did.
Yeah. Well, I ended up watching it the next day. I will say I understand why AJ Lee had the promo that she did. I just wasn't really too much interested in it, especially after Nikki Bella coming back and everything. Like our women's division's so stacked, but for this storyline, for the sake of that, I'll say it did make sense because it does add another layer to the CM Punk Seth Rollins feud that that they're keeping going for a really long time. Um, and I like Seth Rollins in the CM Punk feud, so adding AJ Lee to it, I'm not gonna be at least it makes sense. With Nikki Bella, they're just kind of forcing it, but
Just
with
bringing
AJ
back
Lee,
a name for a name when personally they have for me when it comes to the Nikki Bella situation, there's a lot of other women personally on the roster. No offense to Nikki at all, but she had her time in the company. Maybe have her do some ambassador stuff. But to bring her back in this capacity, there are other talents that I feel could deserve that spot instead.
and then that'll bring us on to Rusev defeating Penta. I'm actually surprised that Penta didn't win this match.
I gotta agree with you. I was expecting Penta to go over, to tell you the truth. It's just again, I never honestly was a huge Rusev fan to begin with, and it was just another. It's like, what is he back in WWE for? Maybe he has a friendship with Triple H or something. I've never really been high on the guy myself personally.
Yeah, I will say that I could tell that Penta and Rusev actually wanted to wrestle each other. Like you could tell it by how their body language was towards each other. It looks like that's probably something, like maybe I don't know if they ever wrestled in the other place in AEW, but maybe that's something they wanted to do. They shared a locker room. They probably know each other. They might be friends even, I would say.
I mean, it definitely you could tell that they do have a relationship with each other, and I mean, it would have been nice to see the match go a little longer. But again, it's just I really think the wrong person went over. I think it should have been Pinta.
And talk about the wrong person going over. This one was the opposite, where the right person went over. I was gonna get so mad if Oscar lost, but she actually ended up winning. So, good on her. And you know what? Good on Nikki Bella for when people come back to the company, they want to win, 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 win. She took the loss from Oscar, and that's good. That's good. You know, I mean, Oscar is one of the goats. One of the best.
For me, again, I wasn't much of a watcher during the Bella Twins era. I'd occasionally drop in and then I'd honestly see them and change the channel. Again, I felt there are other talent that could have been in this position. Um, it was Asuka. I'm a huge fan of Asuka's, and honestly, I'm happy she got the win, and thank God they got the match over, especially after the couple of botches at the Clash in Paris bout. Again, again they're put her in an ambassador brand, let her do promotion, but again, they're the women I feel that they could be pushing instead.
And then we get on to the main event.
It was your standard, type of bout. It was really honestly nothing special. I mean, the crowd was definitely into it. Of course, it's LA Knight wins. I mean, really, what more can be really said about it? It was nothing really special, at
Well,
least to me.
except the fact that LA Knight didn't win. He
So
was
sorry.
defeated. He did take that spear from
That's
Jey
right. I'm sorry.
Uso
I'm
at the
tired.
end.
Yeah.
But I will say that, for a main event match, I mean, it didn't really solve anything. It kind of just felt like a filler match to me. And then also on the same token, I do not like seeing um, LA Knight lose. So
I mean,
that's how I feel about that.
it carries the story forward is what it is. It sets up the, I guess, the it seems like in some ways they're kind of going back to the longer feuds, I guess, with more people. I guess that with it seems like with Cody being gone, with Roman being gone, of course, off filming the movie, it seems like that they're having to elevate certain people, especially with I guess Paul working behind the scenes. It's kind of interesting. Maybe that's why they have Becky. It's so is this group. As a matter of fact, thinking about that, the what is it? What do they call themselves? The Vision. Um, so is Becky Lynch part of the Vision? What exactly is the status with that? I mean, that's what's going on with Paul Heyman. I mean, what's those questions.
Apparently, Paul Heyman is injured because of the attack from the Bronze, or I don't even remember how he got it from the attack from Roman. I can't. It's been too long.
What it was is basically Roman front face locked him. Paul went down, and then he was injured. So who knows where it's going to be going. And that's what I mean by what's the, and I mean that in a good way. What's the play out here? It's without Heyman there, I guess, to guide them. If you kind of think about it, you've got the Bronze. They're kind of out there on their own, wreaking havoc everywhere. And then you have the situation with, you know, Seth Rollins, his wife, Becky Lynch, and then you got, CM Punk, his wife returning, AJ Lee, they're feuding. So it kind of makes me wonder what's the long term play, you know, for Vision is what's how is it going to play out? What is the vision for the Vision, so to speak?
Yeah, and Becky Lynch is part of the Vision. She did declare that. She said this is the Vision. She was standing there holding the belt. So that'll bring us on to our next segment, the preview of Wrestlepalooza. So who do you think's going to win this bout?
Hmm.
The Usos versus Breaker and Reed.
Honestly, just to keep things going, I probably think they'll probably have the Bronze go over. To tell you the truth,
You think they'll have the Bronze go
I think
over?
that I actually see the Bronze going over. I really do. I think it's gonna be. I think Vision's going to dominate that night. I really think that they're gonna take it to the Usos. I really think they're gonna be the ones to wind up winning it.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Usos came through. That's just my opinion. And what about Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer? How do you feel about that one?
I really think that Stephanie is going to win, and the reason why I think she's going to win, I think there's going to be interference because of Asuka. I think Asuka's going to come out there and involve herself and cost Io Sky the bout.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
That friction that's going on. I mean, if you look at that, I think that's what's going to wind up happening. I think she's going to go out there and screw her over.
Hmm, interesting. I was kind of thinking Stephanie Vaquer probably would win just out of having a good match. But we'll see how Asuka and even possibly Rhea Ripley get involved in this.
But I do. That's what I see. I could actually see Asuka costing her the bout.
And then one of the most hyped up matches on this card, John Cena versus Brock Lesnar.
Who do you think is going to pull it off? Who
I
you
mean, I really, really want Brock Lesnar to win.
I honestly think it's going to be Lesnar going over as well. To tell you the truth, I know this is Cena's final run, but it's the Beast incarnate. Yeah, it's going to be F5 City, Suplex City. It's going to be both. Lesnar's going to win.
Well, we can only hope. And then onto the mixed tag team title, or I don't know why I said tag team title, but the mixed tag team match of
Becky Lynch and her husband Seth Rollins versus CM Punk and his wife AJ Lee. This one, who do I think is going to go over? I think it's going to be Punk and Lee. Who do I want to go over? Lynch and Rollins. I'll just keep it simple like that. I really think they're gonna, because it's AJ Lee's return. I honestly think that's the only reason that they're gonna go over at Wrestlepalooza, just because it's her big return. They want to get the crowd, behind her. But like I said, honestly, I'd like to see Lynch and Rollins win personally. I'd love to see them win and go over.
that's exactly what I would like to see happen. I'm not really too excited on seeing Punk and Lee, but I will say it is going to be a good match because I know that Rollins and Punk always have really, really good matches together. So that's going to be good to see. It'll be weird to see how AJ Lee comes back to her first match. In pay per view, you know what I mean? Like, that's, not a lot of people can be away from wrestling that long and come back as good as they used to be.
And that's the thing. And I mean, I haven't heard reports of her being down at the performance center, nothing like that. I haven't read anything. So, I mean, I don't know if it's cold. I mean, well, she is married to a wrestler, but still there's a difference between that and, keeping in wrestling shape, so to speak. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. So, to be perfectly honest with you, I really expect Punk and Rollins to really probably carry the majority in the match.
So yeah, I'm thinking Seth Rollins is beating on Punk. The Brawns come out, beat on Punk with Seth Rollins, and then the Brawns um, basically just stand in front of AJ Lee because they're big. She can't get past them. I'm not saying that they're gonna do any wrestling moves on her. I'm just saying that they stand in her way of breaking up the pin on Punk. That's how I think it'll. I mean, but then again, when I think like that, then I think, but they just had a match earlier in the night probably, and they won't be there for this
I
match
don't think
because of
they're.
it.
I think it's too big. I think AJ Lee's return is too big to have really kind of maybe at after the end of the match, like after who's won. I could see them doing something after that, but for some unknown reason, I really don't anticipate, or to be perfectly honest, I really don't expect any run-ins during the match itself. I again because of the situation, who it is, it's Punk's wife. I think they probably, I wouldn't be surprised backstage, they'd probably all be in agreement of that. This is kind of a special moment. Me, like I said, I could see it happening after, but I really wouldn't see anything. But if they did any kind of run-ins, and you'd probably like maybe have the Usos or somebody. But again, just because of this is more of a personal feud. This isn't really a feud of like involving the rest of the group. I think this is something that is more of a personal thing at this point, and I think that's how they're gonna have it be.
It would be nice if Gunther came out and just beat both the guys up, but that's not going to happen. And then that
Amen to that. Amen to that.
And then that brings us on to our next segment, which is going to be the Worlds Collide preview. Jeremy Thomas from 411 Mania wrote this article with an image credit from the WWE. This is really the only place other than Meltzer's place that I could do, and I wasn't going to use that here because all the ads and stuff. So 411 Mania and Jeremy Thomas, thank you. So the AAA Mega Championship match is going to be Vikingo and Dominic Mysterio. A lot of people are thinking that Dominic Mysterio is going to be ending out just because the Mexican audience doesn't want Vikingo. They haven't. They wanted ADR. I'm not really going to get into all that, but he hasn't really been a fan favorite as much as he's being pushed as a babyface, and they're really digging Dominic Mysterio. So what I'm hoping happens is Dom wins. Most likely they're going to try and keep Vikingo strong so so Dom Dom's gonna win by interference. Definitely some type of distraction or something.
If they do decide to keep it on Vikingo, it WWE or even TKO. They, in some ways, they still kind of have this Vince McMahon mentality of trying to cram people down, talent down people's throats. I'm hoping that maybe this will change. Maybe Ray can be, he can hopefully start. I could see from a certain standpoint of them maybe putting the title on Ray because of the doors it could potentially open, as in terms of markets on not Ray but Dominic. I could see them possibly putting the belt on Dominic because of the doors that it could open from various standpoints, from various markets that it could lead to. Because again, unless they get ADR in the company, unless they work out something, who else is there for them? That they'd be willing to put the belt on.
Well, there are a couple people, but I wouldn't get into all that right now because that's its own
Something you're
rabbit
very well
hole.
versed in, yeah, that you'd have to explain to me.
Yeah, but then we have the AAA Tag Team Championship match of Psycho Clown and Pagano versus New Day. Well, you already know I'm such a big fan of New Day, so of course I want to see the New Day, win. But
It's AAA. They'll probably keep the belts on, the current champions more than likely. But I think the New Day will probably give a good showing. It'll be interesting, to see how it goes down.
then we've got the number one contenders match for the Reina de Reinas Championship, which is going to be Fabi Apache versus Natalia. And there was something on NXT between them, but I haven't actually seen it. I just heard about it. So I won't really say anything else. I really, really want Natalia to win. Um, but yeah, that's really, all I have to say. I want Natalia to win every match she has. With her training and everything, I feel like it would be stupid that she loses.
Honestly, I think the company is really. I've really never been fond of how they've used Natalia. I've honestly have felt that they've never really used her well. Just being a fan of hers, being a fan of the family that she comes from. It's there are better ways they could have used her. Not like not knocking what they're doing now, but I really would like to see Natalia go over, but again, I who knows how this one will go.
Yeah, and then we'll have a Latin American Championship match of El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. versus Dragon Lee versus JD McDonough versus Ethan Page. One thing I really, really would like to happen, and I guess you're going to have to spoil it for me because you saw NXT. Is Ethan Page still the North American Championship?
I believe he still is the champion. I know they had a flag match, but that was about it. That's what the thing they did a flag match. Was
Okay,
what
so it didn't
happened. So
involve the
it
title.
wasn't for the title. It's just a flag match is all they had.
Well, then I want Ethan Page to win this so he can carry the Latin American Championship and the North American Championship.
Well, traditionally in traditionally, who carries the Latin American Championship in AAA? Is it typically like a foreign wrestler? I mean,
Nope.
okay,
It's basically their Intercontinental
okay,
Championship.
okay. So, all right, then you know, that'd be cool actually to see Ethan Page actually have both titles. That'd actually be pretty awesome. Come to think about it, I'd like to see Ethan Page win. The other Page, as he was known as.
I mean, I could also see, you know, El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. retaining it. I could also see JD McDonough possibly getting it. That wouldn't be too bad. That'd be kind of cool because then that would add another title to the Judgment Day. They look good in gold.
All right, next up, it looks like we have the 8-man Lucha Showcase. And who's the talent for that one?
So it looks like we got Nino Hamburguesa, Octagon Jr. versus La Parca, uh, Mascarita Sagrada, Abismo Negro Jr., Raul Mendoza, Lince Dorado, and Joaquin Wild from the LWO. Lince Dorado, he's like has been producing stuff in AAA with in conjunction with the WWE,
Okay.
like Pete Dunne has as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was reading reports on that. Um,
Yeah, I'll be honest, the vast majority of the people in this match, I've personally have never heard of myself.
Now, I could be definitely wrong about this, but Mascarita Sagrada, he's a mini wrestler and or a mini Estrella. I mean, I'm sorry. Um, and I think because he's so famous, I think that he was in WCW at one time. Yes, he was. He in '96. He was. He. Oh, all right. Well, it wasn't. But no, he was in WWF too. Um, and then he did come to WWE. So yeah, you. I mean, I've seen him before outside of AAA, and he's very exciting. He gets the crowd going, so that's going to be fun to see him because we haven't really had a showcasing of him. Raul Mendoza, we haven't got to see him yet on in any of these events yet, so it'll be cool to see him. And then it looks like we will get um, a tag team match: Finn Balor and Roxanne Perez versus Lola Vice and Mister Iwana. And who do you think's going to come out of that one?
Probably Lola Vica and Mystery Iguana will probably wind up going over in that bout. I can see that.
Yeah, that's what I would want to happen. And it also says that Penta's going to appear.
Interesting. See what happens with that.
Yeah, I mean, he wrestled there before, so, it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, that wraps up the Worlds Collide preview that we have. That's all we have now. It's in 2 days. Who knows what's going to happen? But then we have another segment here that we like to do. It's called Book Beyond Time. And when we do that, that is when we are basically
Taking two wrestlers, one of the current, one of the past, and seeing how they fare off against each other in the squared circle.
so this week, we're gonna go with some. We're gonna go American Heritage all the way, and we're having a dream match of the gold medalist versus the master technician. That is going to be,
Two guys with actually legitimate Olympic freestyle wrestling backgrounds.
yeah,
Both
in
great wrestlers, too, as a matter of fact. Both I actually really enjoy. Thank you for introducing me to Chad Gable. I've really enjoyed his stuff since seeing him.
yeah. So this is basically in because we did a segment on real American freestyle wrestling last week. It would only be good as a tribute to showcase, some wrestling here. And you know what? I'll let you start this one out, buddy.
All right. For right here, we have the opening exchange here. After the bell rings, both men circle with intensity. Angle shoots first with a double leg, but Gable counters into a slick roll through. They scramble back to their feet and the crowd erupts. Race locks, switches, amateur takedown. Neither man controls for long. Angle tries a side leg, but Gable counters with a deep arm drag. Angle smirks, acknowledging the challenge. Highlight: Gable bridges out of a pin attempt, pops up, and arm drags Angle, drawing a standing ovation.
In part two of the matches, Angle turns aggressive. He's thrown his heelless edge. He's frustrated, so he ups the aggression. Angle's mixing in stiff forearm suplexes and grinding mat control. He's cornering Gable with a series of German suplexes, 3 in a row, and he taunts him, pointing to his gold medal. Gable uses speed to counter, but Angle cuts him off with a belly to belly overhead suplex. He snaps on an early ankle lock, but Gable rolls through, sending him right into the turnbuckle.
Gable's fiery comeback. With the crowd behind him, Gable explodes. Rolling German suplexes, bridging near falls. He nails a drop kick into the corner, running forearm, then a tiger suplex for a shocking 2 count. Angle tries to nail the suplex, but Gable counters midair into a sunset flip, nearly scoring the win. Highlight: Gable locks down his own ankle lock, echoing Angle's, and the crowd erupts as Angle fights to escape.
and Angle powers out of Gable's ankle lock, sending him shoulder first into the post. Angle rips off the straps and hits a devastating Angle slam, but Gable kicks out at 2.8. Angle immediately transitions into the ankle lock, grapevining the leg. Gable has nowhere to go, and he finally taps out. Kurt Angle won via submission in this potential roundup, but Gable looks strong in his defeat. You know, he pushed Angle to his limit, so Angle helps him up, nods him in respect, and raises his hand. It's a symbolic passing of the torch moment across both eras.
That'd be a great match to see. I could actually see something like that probably being a best of 7 series, probably even an Iron Man match for the way those two go.
I am interested in possibly, I don't know, if 2K goes on sale, maybe I'll get it and maybe simulate one of these matches, and we can just narrate that. Um, but that has been episode 8, folks. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a good one, folks.
Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Mark and the Shark out.
Out.